Hey, Steve Zalunardo here at Treviso Realty. Just a quick market update. But before we talk about the market update, I want to thank all the neighbors for showing up to our first annual Photos with Santa event. This was amazing. Again, we don't get out too often to chat with our neighbors just based on our work schedule and children and competitive sports. So it was great to kind of chat with families in the community. It gives us great hope, to be honest, because there's so many great people we met yesterday. I think we had a total of probably just under 100 with kids, with children clearly, so probably about 80 to 100 people showed up, which was fantastic. And that was just lightly marketing it through postcards and some of the social platforms that we have. But definitely want to thank everybody. I want to give a big shout out, obviously, to the team. Number one, my wife, clearly, she's the one that organized everything, and it was basically her vision. Also, Trent back here for contributing to a lot of the marketing towards, and also he's going to be he's actually editing the photos currently right now, so we're going to get that all done. I'll just show you some photos. Also, the team that came down. We had this is a team here that helped out yesterday. So just to kind of give, this is Mike Gaddy from up north. He's actually running our northern office, our Remax office right now. So that's he's come down because we have other businesses in town. My daughter Selena, her friend Vicky, Reina. These are the girls that were doing the crafts with the children. Obviously, that's myself. This is my little guy Nico, my wife, and obviously Trent. But thank you to the team. This was. Without them, I wouldn't be able to get that together. If you know me, I'm like, basically drop the idea and kind of run away from it, and that's pretty much it. And these are the neighbors that won the baskets. We dropped them off yesterday, so that was cool. So just some of the kids. Actually, this kid won our Treviso bag. I don't know what he's gonna do with a coffee cup and a few other stuff, but there's some beach items in there, which is cool. But that's pretty much it. So we're going to go right into real estate now. Let's look at the current market. Current inventory right now in Southwest Florida, we're 18,990 units. Again, this is nicely coming down to a very comfortable level. Hopefully this gets down to like 15, 16,000 so we can have some more of a rampant market going forward. And we're starting to feel it in the activity. Like the house that we built in Cape Coral, we're starting to get showings, we're starting to get activities, and that gives me hope because obviously that area's got a lot of different properties that have got or new construction getting built. Obviously we feel, and not being biased, but we have a lot of features and benefits for a better price, and this is why we're going to sell faster than the neighbors, because we're not getting hung up on price. We're being realistic. We're taking our emotions out of it, looking at what things are selling, and we'll get that done. Clearly, we've looked at, Mike was in town, we kind of looked at our next projects, where we're going to go. So it's either going to be three houses in Cape Coral right away, or we're going to do one in Naples Park. So we'll see. We're weighing the options now. Obviously, Naples Park is a different beast altogether. Price ranges are on the higher end of it, clearly, and then the profits would take three capes to build one, or three capes profit to equal one of Naples Park. So it's maybe less work and the same money, which would make more sense logically. So let's go back into the inventory here. So pending, we have 230 pending. What I like to look at is the pending with contingencies, because this happened the last 7 days. So 238 properties went on the contract, so that's amazing. I don't know, what does that work out to per day if we kind of divided 238 divided by 7. We're like 34 contracts a day, which is pretty damn good, I think, to be honest. And then we had 389 closed, and that's pretty much it for Southwest Florida. Then we'll look at Ostero. So Ostero inventory jumped up a bit. We're at 775 units compared to, I think last week we were in the 670s, something around there. Pending contingencies, 11 units went under contract last week, and then 17 closed. So, it is what it is. It's a smaller community, but it's good to kind of check in. I want to give like a macro version, then a micro version of the market total. I think next time we're going to talk about months of inventory, because that came down, and went up a little bit now, and I think it's starting to shave off a bit now, which is great. Another thing I wanted to add is this is our local, we have subscription to this as a magazine, and also they're web-based, but this is our news, basically all our news, most important news that we have here in Southwest Florida, especially Naples, Ostero, and Bonita, up to Punta Gorda, so Lee County to Collier. This is very important. So Estero, Village of Estero was notified to receive the AAA rating with the S&P, a bond rating. So a AAA rating is the highest credit rating that is given to a debt issuer. Rather, it indicates that the issuer has an extremely strong capacity to meet its financial obligations. Ostero is one of 12 municipalities in Florida, all of Florida, the state, to have a high of a rating, placing Estero in the top 3% in the state, which is fantastic. Village officials said the municipality has no debt, but the rating will allow Estero to obtain best interest rates should it wish to obtain a loan to fulfill capital improvements. Like we have obviously the corkscrew is getting expanded. That's going to be a capital expense. Clearly, they're building it without even a loan, which is great. So that means it's a very wealthy community, which is great. No usable Naples on this one, right? So this is, I love it. I love this because we're thinking about it. We're about 30 to 35,000 people now in Ostero, and we have, very strong, robust finances, which is fun. It always makes me happy. This is cool. I just read this, obviously, through Gulf Shore Business again. So Naples has stopped fluoridating water. This is huge. I think we've stopped. We've actually started removing fluoride since 2011 out of our homes. Basically, we have a reverse osmosis which eliminates fluoride. But this was issued in 1950. If you kind of like, there's the whole back to this. If you kind of look at fluoride, what it was originally used for, I don't know if I should get into that, but it's not good for you. And then what they sold it to the general public, not just here in America but also in Canada, was that it's for the dental to keep your teeth clean and stuff like that, and no diseases and bacteria. Maybe it was issued like that initially, but I think ultimately, like right now, it's unneeded, to be honest. And what that does, if you're aware of fluoride is not very good for you to ingest. This is actually used in nuclear weapons. If you read any history regarding the ghetto camps in Nazi Germany, the Nazis were actually injecting fluoride into the water. And what this does is fluoride actually calcifies the third eye, which is basically is, if you kind of look at the brain, how it's all designed, and kind of when it's split apart and you kind of look at it, there's an eye socket in the back of your head, and that without an eyeball in it clearly, so they call it the third eye. And this is where a lot of your imagination and also like dreaming process is built. But what happens with the fluoride, it calcifies this third eye, which is obviously a lot of the imagination's kind of like let's say, calcified. But long story, but very happy that they're eliminating this. I think this is a lot of the scholars are starting to raise the question, why fluoride, and this is one of the first cities to kind of remove it, which is I'm very happy with. Hopefully Lee County can also do that in the future. But that's pretty much it, guys. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.